And I agree with Ms. Newcomb.
Please.
We will collect more data to make sure that you know, and I'm sure that Tim would like to address this at some point, because he does have a technology integration specialist that's working with him, Mr. Kurt Mattingly, and that's one of his duties, is to make sure that if we don't have staff that are comfortable, that he can help them get comfortable with that. So maybe one of the next meetings we can have some.
Well, with your learning walks and
Yes.
your coaching sessions, you're going to find out. I mean, you're going to find out firsthand, because I mean they can focus on that as one of the plans when they go do their next coaching sessions too. So you can get that information pretty quick, I think.
And we will.
Yeah, and I'm sure you will.
And Mr. Mullins said something about, you know, of all the meetings we've been to with the KSBA and NSBA, that all your decisions should be made on data. Data driven. And so I think of course we've got to learn how to interpret it too as well. But gathering data though, like Mr. Mullins says, is really important, I think, how we gather, what type of data you gather. So I guess this decision that the administrators got made.
And I can tell you that that's one of the, that's been one of my goals, is to make sure that we are looking at data, and I hope that folks see that have attended the board meetings, that we're looking at a lot of data, and we welcome input on additional data that we can collect, and we make decisions. I mean, just for example, I know Scott looks at data every day. What's the heat in each of the classrooms? He constantly monitors that. We're constantly looking at that because we want to make decisions based on data, not what we think, but what do we know,
Any more questions for Tammy White? Thank you. Next on the agenda is policy 3.7.
I move that the board approve a revision to policy number 03.7, which is a temporary and substitute employees, as reviewed by the board at the first meeting at the January 14, 2014 board meeting.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Overnight trips?
I move that the board approve the following overnight student trips: West Marion course, Lebanon Elementary Beta, and Marion County High School Band.
I second the motion.
Questions or comments?
I just have one general question. How many, each one of these groups here, and maybe somebody here would have an answer, how many times a year do you go overnight trips on these various groups? Can anybody answer that?
Beta has one state convention per year.
Okay.
The high school's already completed their one trip, and then junior beta would be any fifth grade schools that have a beta club, and then middle schools that would have a club. The band, the KMEA, those are for students that actually win a competition and they're actually competing, and could lead to scholarships. Same way with all course for West Marion. It's a state competition. It would be one time. Now there are students who could be a member of band and beta. It would just depend on the number of organizations that they belong to.
But generally, the group themselves go one time.
Generally, right.
Unless it's a elimination type of event, where you win the event.
Well, for example, if they win at the state level, then obviously they would go ahead and compete at the national level, if that's something that they qualify to do.
And we want them to keep winning.
Bring on the trophy.
We don't want to be like some parents and say, do real well, but
bring on the
we don't have to win, because I don't want to go to Paducah next week. Any more questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Emergency shelter agreement.
I make a motion that the board approve a shelter agreement with the American Red Cross to permit Marion County High School to be used as a temporary emergency shelter during a disaster, referred to in policy number 05-3 AP1, community use of school facilities.
I second the motion.
I do have a question on that.
Sure.
Does that, as far as if there was a disaster and it was used, does that have any, or insurance, any bearing on the insurance on that?
They have a rider. It's included in the
Oh,
contract.
so if somebody would fall, slip and fall?
The result of their shelter is Red Cross's responsibility.
Okay, all right. Very good.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Let's have it. Acceptance of bids.
I make the motion the board accept the following bids for a sound system for Marion County High School.
I second the motion.
Questions or comments?
So who's setting up the bidding process? Who does that?
Lisa sets up, our finance director
Okay.
sets up a bidding process of anything
Okay.
that would be over $20,000.
I see 2 bids there, so we'll.
What's the next one?
Yeah, we're just
We're
accepting
just
bids
accepting,
at this
okay,
point
Okay.
in time. Any more questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Now bid approval.
I move that the board approve a bid by JCA Media LLC in the amount of $23,783 for the purchase and installation of a high-quality sound system for Marion County High School gymnasium.
Second.
Definitely needed.
So what all comes with that?
Everything.
I mean,
Speakers, the board, the installation, the microphones, it's top to bottom.
we'll have more than 2 speakers.
Absolutely, and they will be placed throughout the gymnasium, not behind where the speaker is.
Well, that's a good idea. In other words, like a surround sound, the old-fashioned surround sound?
Yes, sir.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Establishment of positions.
I'll make a motion that the board approve the establishment of a .5 Title I certified position at Lebanon Elementary School for the remainder of 2013-14 school year.
Second.
Ms. Schlosser, would you kind of give us a little bit of information on what that's about?
Well, as you all know, we have Title I funding in our district, and that is because of the poverty level. That's based on the amount of poverty that we have. And what we worked out with our principals is that you have this amount of money, how can you best utilize that to implement the programs that you have? And we give the principals and the council the autonomy of looking at that money and how can you best use that. And what we found is, Lebanon Elementary, they have some need in their 4th and 5th grade. And that position is going to be used at that level so that we can ensure that kids are ready for middle school eventually and be successful at each grade level.
Now, it says for the remainder of the year, but now, if it's a certified position, can we hire them just for that?
Yes.
That amount of
Yes, sir.
time?
Is that the poverty for that school or for the district? Is that what that's based on?
We get money for both. We get
Okay.
district money and we get school money. And so we get a large, it comes in one lump sum and then it's allocated out based on,
So we're using Title I money for these positions, it's not coming out
not
of the general
more
fund.
money.
So based on our Title I funds, we'll determine also whether we keep this person next year if the need is there.
Right, based on their Title I allocation.
Right. Okay. Any more questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 12 is the same for a different school.
I move that the board approve the establishment of a 5/10 Title I classified position at Calvary Elementary School for the remainder of the 2013-14 school year.
Second.
Bert, was it you?
Yes.
Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Surplus items?
I move the board approve the following technology items as surplus to the needs of Marion County Board of Education.
I second.
Questions or comments?
What is the?
Yeah, that's my question. What is that?
The access points, if you'll see, am I right, Tim? Those, the little box at the ceiling, that's
Okay.
basically where folks bring in their devices and they can access that. So when we have a wireless laptop card that has 20 or 30, you know, we're not plugging into the wall. We have that access point. They have been sitting out in the garage. We had someone call and say we would like to purchase those from you, and it's a way to create some revenue, correct?
Yeah, they were the first generation ones, and we removed them to replace with those district-wide, so we no longer have use for them when we have the virus.
Go ahead.
Well, it says 73 Nortel, is that 2,332
That's the model number.
devices?
That's the model.
That's the model.
The
So there's only
2332.
73 devices.
There's 33 devices, yes, sir.
Okay.
How does that go about? Somebody comes to you and say, I'll give you X amount of dollars for each one of these, or the whole lot? How does that work?
Well, we're actually doing a bid on them as well,
Okay.
but I put down the minimum of what I've already been offered. So if someone gives me more, then I'll take that. If they don't, then I can give them to someone who's going to repurpose them and use them. So.
Good deal.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 14 is the draft budget. No, there's no motion, I'm sorry.
So it's not do it.
Yeah, we have already looked at examined the revenues expenditures for 2014-15. Did anybody have any comments or questions concerning that before we move on? Okay, consent items?
I move that the board approve the following consent items as listed.
Second.
Questions or comments concerning those? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Number 16 is notification by the superintendent to the board of the following actions regarding certified personnel. Number 17 is notification to the board by the superintendent of the following actions regarding classified personnel. Are there any questions or comments concerning those? Okay. Need a motion, please.
I make the motion that the board go into executive session for purpose pursuant to KRS 61.810(1F), superintendent's mid-year formative evaluation.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?